Hi. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm sharing a deeply personal experience, namely, my 14-day water-only fast. This journey was both invigorating and intense. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you find it helpful. Now, let's dive into what happened during those impactful 2 weeks. During fasting, the body typically relies on energy from its stored fat reserves, because its usual fuel, namely glucose, which is the sugar we get from the carbohydrates we eat, is no longer available. But switching from sugar to fat is a major adjustment for your metabolism, so it helps if your body is already used to burning fat as its main fuel. Admittedly, I was well conditioned for this fast because my body was already adapted to burning fat for the following 3 reasons. 1. I had done 2 5-day water-only fasts in the past. 2. I had been following an ultra-low-carb way of eating since October 2018. 3. I had been eating only 1 meal a day, or OMAD for short, about 3 years beforehand. That said, a 14-day fast can be both physically and mentally jarring for almost anyone. This is especially true for those of us who are used to consuming a high-carb diet that consists mostly of processed foods, because those kinds of carbs can be extremely addicting. So if this is you, then you may want to try weaning yourself off the carbs before embarking on such an endeavor as a multi-day fast. Furthermore, if you're new to fasting or have experienced significant changes to your health since your last fast, you should first consult with a healthcare professional. Now, let's get started. Day 1 was all about preparation and anticipation. I was mentally geared up, but a bit nervous because it had been a couple years since my last fast, and this fast was more than twice as long as any of my previous fasts. That said, the first day was relatively easy. My body was still running on the residual energy from the food I had last eaten, so I didn't feel too different. I stayed hydrated and tried to keep my mind off food. On day 2, I started to feel some moderate but fleeting hunger pangs which occurred about the time when I would normally eat my 1 meal a day. These cravings were amplified by those mouth-watering TV food commercials that we're all frequently bombarded with. I attributed this to what's known as the classical conditioning. This concept was first documented by Russian physiologist Ivan Pavlov, who showed that dogs can be prompted to salivate by the sound of a bell that coincides with their feeding time. Pavlov won the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1904 for his research on digestive processes. Days 3 through 7 were pivotal. I felt lightheaded at times, which I had experienced during previous fasts, so I wasn't too alarmed by this, especially because the weather was abnormally hot. But I also noticed a significant boost in my energy levels. Mentally, I started to feel a sense of heightened clarity. My initial hunger pangs had subsided, and I was feeling increasingly free from the need for food. At this point, I surmised that my body had essentially completed its switch from burning energy from food to burning energy from my stored body fat. And this change was evidenced by my steady weight loss, which was now averaging nearly 3/4 of a pound per day. Days 8 to 10 were fascinating. I had developed stable energy levels and a super clear mind. Emotionally, I felt a deep sense of connection with my body and mind. It was as if my mind was detoxing along with my body. I suspect this is one of the main benefits that has drawn people to fasting for thousands of years. As I approached the final stretch, on days 11 and 12, I felt a mixture of excitement and fulfillment. Physically, my body was functioning well on ketones, which are the fuel derived from fat, but I was very mindful of my limits. Emotionally, I felt a profound sense of accomplishment and gratitude for both my body and mind. Days 13 and 14 both felt extremely rewarding. I still felt strong, which indicated that I still had sufficient energy remaining in my stored body fat. Emotionally, I felt a deep sense of peace and fulfillment. I was proud of how far I'd come and grateful for the experience. Breaking the fast was a careful and deliberate process. I reintroduced food slowly, starting mainly with broths. The whole experience taught me so much about my body, my mind, and my relationship with food. It was a journey of self-discovery and resilience. If you're considering a water fast, I highly recommend doing thorough research and consulting with a healthcare professional. This was my personal journey, and it's not for everyone. Thank you so much for watching and supporting me through this incredible experience. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you have any questions or thoughts. Until next time, stay healthy and mindful.